Hello everybody, it's Philly Kuts with another Hump Day Haul. We are up to number 89, where every week I get together with you guys and review my stack of overpriced comic books, because I like to buy new, depreciating assets, you know what I'm saying? Woo! Alright, we have a huge week here, potentially a day of history in comic book land. Today, May 25th, 2016, we have DC Rebirth, the potential magnus opus of one Geoff Johns, head writer, head leader of creative development. Geoff Johns, can he save what many believe is a potentially sinking ship of DC after 5 years of New 52 madness? 5 years of what many people have felt has been dry, awful storytelling. What can Geoff Johns do to save this? DC has been in a bit of shambles over the past year. Their DCU initiative, promising more diversity in their books, like Midnighter, Omega Men. They didn't really sell very well. Some of these issues struggling to clear even 12,000 issues a month, which is unfortunate because Omega Men, I felt, was one of the best titles that DC had put out in quite a long time, written by Tom King, who is going to be the head writer on Batman as we head into Rebirth. Hey, if you're going into your shop, make sure you get a checklist. That's what they're going to give you, the DC Rebirth checklist. Now, we're starting off here with DC Universe Rebirth Special, and then they're going to be going right into the Rebirth one-shots. And Action Comics and Detective Comics are going to be going right back into their original numbering. As you can see, Action Comics number 957 and Detective Comics number 934, and they will be coming out bi-weekly. So, yeah, we're going to be getting the rebirths, and then shortly thereafter, for some of the titles, like Superman, we're going to be getting right into the series. So that's going to be pre-Flashpoint Superman, leading off things. Wonder Woman, we're going to get Greg Rucka back in the writer's seat, so I'm excited about that. But, the thing that's intriguing me most about Rebirth is that we are supposed to be learning the identity of the Joker. Now, I was in the shop today, okay, and I wasn't planning on buying this because I didn't know, but apparently if you are interested in getting DC Rebirth number 1, you should get Justice League number 50, The Dark Side War. Now, the big thing in this is that this is kind of a big reveal in here. We may or may not learn the identity of the Joker in this issue, because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But anyway, I guess way back in issue number 42 of Justice League, Batman has become Batman, God of Knowledge, and he sat down in this chair, the Mobius chair, and he was able to ask this chair anything, and he would get the answer to it. So the question that he presented to this chair was, who is the identity of the Joker? And apparently this is delved into a little bit. A little bit. Now, he has a conversation with Green Lantern, my man Hal Jordan, who I've been with forever. And we get a little bit of a reveal here, but I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. I don't want to spoil it for you, but, it could be a key issue down the road. And my comic book shop guy highly recommended that I read this before I read DC Rebirth. Now, look at this, okay? 80 pages of goodness for $3. DC Rebirth, all right? There are chock full of ads, man. It's like the last freaking 10 pages at least are all these, DC self-promotion ads and stuff. You gotta figure. I'm figuring there's probably even more advertisements in here, but maybe not. It looks like they left it all at the end. So kudos to DC. Almost 80 pages. If it was 80 pages, no adverts, that would have been something. But $3, okay? But as DC giveth, okay, DC taketh away. Because look, although it is 48 pages, Justice League number 50, it is $6. Why, DC? Why, you know? You couldn't have been cool and left it at 4, you know? Throw us some biscuits. Throw us dogs some biscuits, you know? But I really want to know the identity of this guy. I really do. Now, the other big thing about DC Rebirth that's been revealed is that the Watchmen of Alan Moore fame, I guess Alan Moore doesn't have the rights to his creation, I guess, you know, different era. But the Watchmen are incorporated into the DC Universe, and there you go. There's a teaser. There's a little bit of a spoiler there for you. Yeah. So, wondering how that's going to go. A little Dr. Manhattan action on here. See how that goes. But, I can't wait to see. Now, there's some other interesting things that are going to be happening. Lex Luthor is going to be the protagonist in Action Comics, which I'm definitely interested in. We do get a tease of that in Justice League. If you guys want a little bit of a peek of that, check that out. Yes. Baldy as Superman. And then we've also learned that Wonder Woman has a twin brother. Now, that's it. I'm not going to spoil anything else for you guys, but that's what it is. Now, what do you guys think? I want to know what you guys are thinking. Are you intrigued by any of this? Does any of this interest you? Are you learning the identity of the Joker, a question that has been a mystery in the DC Universe till God knows since it started? Do you feel that that's going to hurt the DC Universe, or will it bring betterness to it? Better stories. Maybe some compassion for the Joker. Maybe we'll learn a bit more why he became the way he did. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. I gotta wait and read these issues. Okay, now, also big news for DC. We have the conclusion of the final days of Superman, baby. Number 8. Now, this spanned over 4 different titles at a rapid pace. I think they did it in about 2 months. Superman Action Comics, Batman Superman, and Superman Wonder Woman. We have the death of New 52 Superman in here. Now, I don't think there's been a death of a Superman character since, what, like 92, maybe? Superman 75, I think, was about the last time we had a death of a Superman character. Look at this, man. Do you remember this ordinary man, this flaming guy right here, by the name of Denny Swan, who became imbibed with Superman's powers and some of his memories, and he wants to kind of convince the world that he is Superman? Well, him and New 52 Superman get into a great big battle, man, and it is epic. It is epic, and I'm just going to say that it doesn't turn out oh so well for Superman, but he's got his buddy pre-Flashpoint Superman right there, the man in black with the beard, to kind of help him out. We see a little bit of teamwork there. But, yeah. So you're going to see a lot of reactions to what has happened here. A little locking of those laser eyes. And, the New 52 Superman, the Rodney Dangerfield of Superman, who never got that much respect, but he went through oh so much, you know, his identity revealed to the world, betrayed at first in his mind by Lois Lane, but in reality she was kind of saving him. Having to bathe himself in kryptonite to regain some of his powers, all this kind of stuff really took a toll on him, on his body, and it's finally given out. So if you want another key piece of comic book history, I'm thinking you got to get this, man. You got to get this. And Look at him, man. He's sick. He's sickly. Look at his color in his face. It's just not right. So, I'm anxiously awaiting to read this. I haven't read it since the third part because I kind of wanted to save them all up and read it in one shot. So, I got a ton of reading to do. I'm probably going to read this Final Days of Superman. Then I'm going to go into Justice League 50, and then I'll read Rebirth. So I got a ton of reading to do. And thank God it's a 3-day weekend for me here in the United States. Now, Tom King, like I said before, he's the writer here. Barnaby Bagenda is the artist. Omega Man, number 12, one of the most underrated titles from the DCU initiative. A title that at one point was going to be canceled early, and there was such an outcry from the fans of this series on social media that DC reversed its stance and said, oh, no, okay, we're not going to end it. We won't end it. We're going to put out the full 12 issues as promised. And boy, oh boy, I'm glad that they did, because it is finally over. Kyle Rayner and the Omega Men. Kyle Rayner, the White Lantern, was originally used as a pawn by the Omega Men. They had placed a bomb in his throat. And I'm not going to tell you why, because I want you to read the story. But in the last couple issues, we were kind of seeing the Omega Men, along with Kyle Rayner, rounding up the troops of the Vega system that have been under the oppressive regime of the Alpha, the Citadel. On one of these planets, this is how much of a despot this leader of the Citadel was. 7 billion people on the planet Vrul were sacrificed. A lot of it had to do with the mining of a precious mineral, stellarium, that the universe needs. You know what? It kind of reminded me a bit of the story of Doom. If you ever read Doom, you know that the spice was life. Was the essence. He who controls the spice controls the universe, as said by the famous Lord Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. They needed this spice in order to time travel, to fold space without, ever having to move. But that's what it kind of reminded me of, that a precious spice was able to lead this leader of the Citadel to such despotic measures. But it was such a great book, man. It really touches on a lot of heavy subjects, genocide, war. The characters were greatly developed. The artwork was fantastic. I was almost going to open it up to a page, but I didn't want to ruin it. Great characters in here. Infighting, intrigue. You had the whole romance between Kyle Rayner and Princess Callista, wondering if that was real or not, or just some kind of contrived thing between the two of them in order to, have their means justify the ends, so to speak. If you are going to read something from DCU that was worthwhile, please pick up the Omega Man. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to break this up into 2 trades or if they're just going to put it all into one, because it was 12 issues. Thinking they're going to do 2 trades. I don't know. They may have already issued the first trade. But do yourself a favor. Pick it up. Get a taste of Tom King quickly before all the Rebirth stuff starts. Now, okay. Away with DC, finally. And we're on to Marvel, which I got a couple Star Wars books. Number 19, Princess Leia and the female crew of Dr. Aphra and Sana Solo, the woman that we all thought for a while was Han Solo's wife, or ex-wife, rather, are doing battle against a mysterious bounty hunter-like villain. Now, this all takes place in a prison, Sunspot prison. It's a rebel prison, actually, a rebel prison where they house Imperial prisoners. Now, here's this nefarious-looking dude that has been going around this prison and basically murdering some of the Imperial prisoners. Now, it turns out that speculation on the internet proved correct. Now, if you read Star Wars I'm going to give you a hint. I'm not going to reveal it, but if you read Star Wars Annual #1, you know exactly who I am talking about, because Star Wars Annual #1 focused exclusively on this character. So that's a giveaway, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys. But what I thought was interesting in this arc was kind of the relationship between all the ladies, you know, the relationship between Sena Solo, Princess Leia, working with Dr. Aphra, knowing that Dr. Aphra is kind of hiding from Darth Vader. If you're reading the Darth Vader comic, you know that Tanith has just revealed to Lord Vader that he knows the whereabouts of Dr. Aphra, because Dr. Aphra has a lot of important information that Darth Vader needs. So was pretty cool. Also, you kind of had the whole buddy story going on, the buddy road trip story with Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. Han Solo got himself into a bit of trouble, gambling away, some of their credits, and they needed to do what they got to do, nerf herding and stuff to get their money back. But the crew's all together in this issue. I think Princess Leia or one of the ladies issued a distress call. It was answered by Luke and Han, and now they're all together to do battle against this mysterious villain character. So that's all I'm going to tell you, man, about this issue. I've been pleasantly pleased with Star Wars, and I'm glad that it's going to keep going as an ongoing series. All right, now, another limited series, Star Wars Universe. We have Obi-Wan and Anakin, number 5 of 5, Charles Soule. Marco Ciccito has done probably, I would say, some of the best artwork in the Star Wars series. There's Obi-Wan Kenobi hugging the earth there. Interesting story exploring the relationship between Padawan and Master, that being, obviously, Obi-Wan Kenobi and a young Anakin Skywalker. They answer a distress call on a planet. When they get to this planet, they learn that the natives are fighting with one another. There are two factions of people, one called the Open, one called the Closed. Through the course of the story, Anakin ends up getting kidnapped by one of the factions. I can't remember if it was Open or Closed. They kidnap him. They learn that he has great abilities, of all things, to fix machines. And this faction of people on this planet believes that if, they're able to put their machines back in order, that they're going to win this war. Obi-Wan, on the other hand, learns what the source of this original distress signal was. He learns who was behind it. And some interesting reveals for that. Now, underneath all of this, we have Emperor Palpatine in a series of flashback stories. We kind of get more insight into his seduction of young Anakin. Kind of see that it was something that he was working underneath the scenes for quite some time, much more than what we saw in the original Star Wars movies, episodes 1, 2, and 3. But amazing artwork. I love the way that these full-page battle sequences look. But Charles Soule has really proven his versatility in the Star Wars universe. I mean, this guy can go from writing Lando Calrissian, which was one of my favorite miniseries since Star Wars started up, Obi-Wan Anakin, and also Poe Dameron. So talk about versatility. Talk about being valuable to the company. Look at Marco's freaking Yoda, dude. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say, right? Freaking Yoda. All right, Image. We have Monstress number 6. This closes out the first arc of, oh my lord, I can't remember her name, Maika Halfwolf. Now, I haven't been reading this either, because this is just such a dense book with all the lore and the mythology and the world building and the character building that I felt in order to do this title justice, I want to get the first arc collected completely. I think I stopped reading it like issue 2 or 3, and just delve into it completely. What I do know is that this main character, Maika, her mind has been invaded by a monstrous entity known as a Monstrum. And this entity is searching her brain, searching her memories for some valuable information. Now, I'm not exactly sure what. It hasn't been revealed. But it's a complex story, man. It is a complex story. Now, if you want to pause the action here, hopefully this will focus. This will give you a nice rundown of what's been happening so far. So, yeah, there you go. I'm going to hold it up for you guys just for a little bit. And if you want to hit the pause button, you got it, man. You're going to be all caught up. Now, the one thing that I love in this book is that it has talking cats with 2 tails, but it also has samurai kind of pizza cats. I don't know if anybody's going to know that reference, but enjoyable. So I'm happy that this finally came out, and now I can just sit down, relax, and delve into a big-time story. Now, the good thing, too, is because the book recognizes that it's so dense with material and lore, on the back page of every issue, they kind of break it down to you in a fun, like, history lesson of this planet. And look at that. That cat has 4 tails. I lied to you guys. It's like a shit quattro right there. All right. Now, Dark Horse. We move on to Dark Horse. We got Aliens Defiance, number 2. This follows the story of Colonial Marine Zulu Hendricks. Now, Zulu, Zula is aboard a spacecraft with a bunch of, oh my god, biotic beings. Jesus, I can't remember what they call them. Synthetics. Weyland Yutani, that's that evil corporation that always wants to trap a human in a confined space so that they can get impregnated by an alien, and then they can take that human being that's been impregnated and keep that alien to study and create biological weapons. So she's on this spacecraft with a group of Weyland Yutani synthetics, and it turns out that although these synthetics are operating under the auspices of Weyland Yutani, it turns out that they have morals. They kind of have self-awareness, which I thought was really interesting. And it always kind of plays into our fears, right, in the future, that what if one day, AI does become sentient? What could happen if, artificial intelligence realizes that it's there and it can begin to make its own choices? It turns out that they're aware of what Weyland Yutani wants to do with these aliens, because here's how it all started. Zula and crew finds a derelict spacecraft, and it is full of aliens. They eliminate that alien threat, but it turns out that there's other spacecraft and other places that do have these aliens. So the synthetics decide, along with Zula, to go on a mission to find the rest of these locations where these aliens are and to eliminate them. So, I got kind of like mixed feelings about it, because I just feel like a lot of times Aliens and Predator, while I do enjoy the series, it does seem like that they're constantly retreading familiar waters, and they just kind of throw in, a hook here or there. You got great alien fights in here. I don't know if you guys can see because it's very dark, but I do want to give props to Tristan Jones, the artist, and the colorist Dan Jackson. Great work by them. And it also has like a very cinematic feel. Like, I love how they give the credits here in the beginning, and you got some great wide-angle shots. You kind of see her going into one of these locations that I talked about. And just the pacing of the panels and stuff, I really feel like I'm looking at like a movie storyboard. So it does kind of get me sucked in that way. But I guess I'm wondering, what's the hook? Are these synthetics really going to be on Tristan's side? Are they just leading her to some other mother lode of a thing, you know, maybe the queen alien, you know? So it kind of keeps your mind guessing. But I guess we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm not sure if it's an ongoing series or a mini-series. If anyone knows, please let me know. And then finally, in the world of Mignolaverse, right, Philly Cuts Comic Book Haul wouldn't be complete without some Mignola. We have a 3-issue series of Lobster Johnson. Check it out, man. In the Streets of Manhattan, 1936. From the pages of Hellboy, the Metal Monsters of Midtown. Now, the hook here is that we have giant monsters that are involved in some sort of bank heist, but it turns out they don't take a cent. So what's up with that? What's the purpose of that? Another prop to an artist here, Tansy Zonjic. I don't know, sounds Eastern European. Really gives this book like a Dick Tracy kind of feel, you know? Like the way some of these characters look. And then the shell shading effect of none other than Dave Stewart in some of these panels really gives it an old style feel. Like I really do feel like I'm reading an old comic book when I look at this thing. Just the way the characters look. I mean, does that not spell Dick Tracy with those bogies hanging out of those guys' mouths? Now, the thing that I'm really looking forward to is that Lobster Johnson is usually one-shots, you know? And I don't mind one-shots. If you guys have been watching my comic book haul, I always say that I wish that more comics were one-shots, you know? I think that we're just stuck on this long, drawn-out formula of usually an arc being anywhere from 4 to freaking 10 issues, and you just kind of lose track of the story. So if a one-shot can be made, I don't mind it. But, on the other hand, you know, a nice 3-issue story with Lobster Johnson, I think, is going to allow for more character development, and then hopefully delve into a little bit of his crew, because, you know, even Lobster Johnson has a bit of a crew, people, and I just can't wait to learn about these robots. Look at that butcher, man. Vegans beware. Yeah. Alright, dudes, that concludes another Hump Day haul. Let me know, brother, what you're buying, what you're liking, what you're disliking, and I think it's probably pretty easy, pretty predictable what my cover of the week is going to be. Lobster Johnson. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be, of course, DC Rebirth, man. Wraparound cover. I forgot to show you guys. Yeah, you got the whole freaking crew, man. I don't know if I agree with Green Lantern's placement, man. I feel that Green Lantern should be ahead of the Flash, man. You know? But I'm a bit biased, you know? I don't read Flash. I read Green Lantern. But, you know, I'm not exactly 100% on the order of placement there. Okay? Can you let me know what you think? Alright, dudes. It's been another Hump Day haul. Bye!